actually, I knew Daff first.
Yeah.
Because Daff was the man. So it's like everybody that was doing whatever they was doing, you knew that. So Jemeker was like, we just knew Jemeker as Daff's wife.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? And that's all it was. That's why I'm saying, like, coming up, I didn't, you know, it was nothing. Because, you know, anytime, like, say, you know, somebody's girl, whatever, then that's just what it is. And then back then, she was a cut up anyway. So it wasn't like, you know, you wasn't looking at her like that. I don't think nobody was. Because she was something else, man. She wasn't who she is now. You know what I'm saying? She was something else.
Yeah, it was like me. Even though we knew each other, it was like, hey, how you doing?
You know,
What's
that's
up?
Daff's
You
wife.
know, like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you a question, because I always hear, you know, stories about that from her. What do you remember him being as?
I mean, he was just a good dude, man. Okay, who do you know that goes and gambles, takes everybody's money, and then loan it back to them so they can keep gambling? That's Daff, homie. Daff was a different animal, man. You know, different animal. Great dude. Everybody loved him. You know.
So you one of those dudes that light up the room when he comes.
Yeah.
When he come
You know, just a good dude. You know what I'm saying? Just a hustler, but a good dude. You know, not grimy. You know, just a pure heart. You know, just, you know. But Jemeker was the grimy one back then. You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, he in the corner. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't do that.
I'm just saying. I mean, hey, y'all said y'all
You
wanted
want the
it.
truth?
You said you wanted it, so I'm just trying.
Yeah. He
just
talking
trying-
about me in my face.
I'm just
Flip.
trying to give it to
He
you.
talking about me in my face.
Just trying to give it to you.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
she didn't mess around.
Come
It was
on out the
like,
closet,
You know, it's
baby.
like, yeah.
You asked for this interview. Now he giving it to you raw,
He
baby.
giving it to me raw.
Yeah.
She was grimy.
Oh man, she did not play, man.
But but why you with? Okay, but she's with Daff at a young age, like as far as like 15, and then when things started to pick up with you and him.
Well, let me. I don't know if I should say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Back then, I was 15, but I felt I was a mature 15. So I was 15, but I acted like I was probably 20. I was more grown than what my age was, because my mother used to travel a lot because she was in the Air Force. So she would go out of town and leave me to take care of my little brother.
Baby
Baby
Medea.
brother.
Baby Medea. You know what I'm saying? So
So-
the same controlling spirit and the controlling ways of her grandmother she had
That's
with a 10 on it. And that's how she carried it, like, in the streets at a young age. You see what I'm saying? So it was like, you know, it was crazy. Because it's like how, you know, how Daff would do this or do that, or even give somebody consignment with weed or whatever. She, No.
No
Did he give you
consignment.
the money? You know what I'm saying? She was something else, bro.
So so Daff was actually 5 years older than me. But back then, you didn't trip on the age. I didn't even see what the age difference was, even though, because he was out of high school.
Hold on. Before we get to that, you know, how'd you guys get together? Because you didn't say that part.
So one day, I was walking home from school, but because I would always see him on the block.
Right.
So he knew who I was. I knew who he was. So one of my friends, he had took her to the Michael Jackson concert. And so she was telling us how, you know, he didn't try to hit on me. He was just, you know, he liked her, but he was more about his money. He didn't have no girlfriend. So he would just take her to the concert and spent all the money, bought her all the T-shirts, the books, and everything. And I kept on saying, wow, this guy he got money, you know? And so I'm walking home from school with another one of my friends. He got money.
That's what he got. Talk about it.
So he pulls up in his lowrider and he lays it in the middle of the street. And he said, you guys want to ride home? And he knows us from the neighborhood.
Right.
And so then we was like, yeah, we finna ride in his lowrider. And so he takes us, he take me and drop my girlfriend off, and then he took me to the mall.
After that, it was on after that.
It was on after that. He didn't even ask me to be his girlfriend. I just said, you my boyfriend.
Now, is it because like that's crazy? Is it because like in Mississippi things were, you know, it was tough? Do you think that you sort of inherit the toughness from like Medea and stuff like that, like the strictness, and become solid at a young age? Do you feel like being over there is what really molded you to be as tough as you are?
Oh, definitely. I think my toughness definitely came from my grandmother and my mother, because my mother got it from my grandmother.
Right.
So I got it from my mother and my grandmother, but my mother was just smooth with it. My grandmother was like, I ain't playing. Somebody hit you, you hit them back.
So now you and him together, you're making moves, and at the time, so he's selling weed at this time, and now he's selling weed. He starts to teach you what's going on or how it goes, or you just basically catch on by being around him a lot.
Well, I would see what was going on, and so I told Daff one day, I said, you know, teach me the game. So I would take, you know, bags of weed to school and sell it, you know, to people that I knew that smoked weed at school, and that's where it started with me. And I would give him the money because he actually was taking care of me, you know, and not only just that, you know, because my mother, you know, when she was home, my mother cooked dinner every single day, still to this day. Wow. She still cooked dinner every single day. Nobody's at home with her. She still cooked dinner.
Got you, yeah.
Yeah. And even, you know, we would go by there and eat, you know, her food every day, you know. So Daff would give my mother money too.
That was nice.
Yeah, he always gave my mother money, you know, especially when he win. And I never forget, one day Daff lost, and he came home and he said, Mom, how much money you got? And so then whatever she had, she gave it to him. And he left that night, and he came back home with a wad of money, and he kicked her down.
And this goes on, and then he's moving and shaking. At that age, do you remember at that age when he was into the weed, do you remember anybody not liking him or any haters? Like, how did he deal with anybody? Did he have any haters that he deal with? Did he have any issues at the time that you were aware of?
When me and Daff was together, I've never knew anybody to hate him or disrespect him or to not like him or to be jealous of him very early on. But I think that his overnight success, once he started selling cocaine and selling it to people in his circle, because Daff, you know, he was the man from the weed. They were okay with that. But now you like then elevated your game. And he didn't just elevate himself. He took his brothers, because Daff was just like me. He had 4 brothers and 1 sister too. So everybody in his family was in the game. If they wasn't drug dealers, they were pimps. So everybody, you know, only one that worked in his house was his mother and his sister. But all his brothers were either drug dealers or pimps. They sold weed too. And they had a gambling shack in the back of their house. So they was all gamblers too.
But that weed was slow money. You know what I'm saying? So Joker can handle that. They can handle that slow money, but they can't handle that fast. The haters, that was just too much. You know what I mean? And really, Daff wasn't even really trying to fool with the yayo at all. You know, he was comfortable. But this one here, you know what I'm saying? Let's get rich.
Let's get rich.
You know, she's the one introduced him
Yeah.
to the white.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
And how did you, because in the story they said it was a person that.
Well, Daff got arrested, and when he got arrested, the bail bondsman that bailed him out pulled up in a Rolls Royce, money green Rolls Royce, and so then I was like, and he's like an older man, so I'm like chopping it up with him and everything, and then he invited me to meet with him, but all along he would invite me to lunch, and I said I want to work for you, but I'm thinking I'm gonna work for him as a bail bondsman. No, he wants to teach me how to do that cocaine. I didn't even know what cocaine was. I'm still, in high school. And so, he rented a room and everything, and he showed me how to use a triple beam scale and everything, and weigh everything out and put it in the papers, wrap the cocaine up and weigh it and everything in paper. And then I came home and I showed Daff what he taught me. And Daff was like, I'm Jemeker, that's some serious time. I'm like, I don't care. I want to be rich. Let's just see what it do. And so that night, we sold all the cocaine that the guy gave me. It was a lot of money. Then we bought some more. And then probably in a couple of weeks, because one of Daff's brothers, he got a job at McDonald's, Mark. And so Mark, when he was working at McDonald's, when you go through the drive-thru, you're not just getting McDonald's. Now you're buying cocaine. And then Mark did that for a little bit, and then he quit. And then we had crack houses next door to each other, within months. It was so crazy because it was my first apartment, and it was Daff's brother's first apartment, and we stayed next door to each other.
Yeah, and it was all powder first. This was before Joker was even rocking
before
it up.
crack. It was,
and you was just getting powder. You know what I mean? So it was crazy.
So you convinced Daff to sell cocaine.
Powder cocaine, yes.
Yeah, powder. You convinced him.
Mm-hmm. And then once Daff seen that we was making money, then we brought his brother in that stayed next door to us. And then he started making money.
Because he was selling at McDonald's drive-thru as well. And then he's,
Yeah. And then I'm talking about months. Let's just say 6 months. Daff bought me a Mercedes. His brother got a new Corvette. And we're kind of in the hood, doing good.
Was there any more people that was doing what y'all was doing besides you, Daff, and his brother?
Well, what I can remember, for a long time, it was just, Daff and us. Because Daff and his brother became, teams, after a while, because shortly, probably after a year or so, I get pregnant. So the brother and Daff, when Daff sell out, they come to the front house. When Mark sell out, they come to the back house. But everybody, for some reason, said Daff, they had good dope back then. It was uncut, because people were snorting then.
But let me ask you a question. And I don't expect you to say anything too crazy, but let's slow down but speed it up. Let me close this a little bit.
It's going down up in here. Yeah. All the way down.
Yeah. I ain't playing around. I heard you a tough one. So I'm trying to figure out, the bail bondsman give you something, you sell out. Does the bail bondsman remain your connect, or you find another connect?
The bail bondsman remains my connect for a while, but after we blew up, and you out and around, people seek you out.
Oh, so that's true.
So, I heard that
before. So they do seek you out.
Oh, definitely. And then you, just like the bail bondsman didn't know who I was, but he would take me out to lunch, to get, because I would tell Daff, I said, this man got money. Let me go out with him and see what's going on. Right. And come, here it is. So the same thing happened, with the Colombians, they seek you out. Because it'd be word on the street.
You know what happened with that? The other connect was she went in a furniture store. You see what I'm saying? And you know, they owned the furniture store. So when she went in the furniture store, back to the knots, and pulled them things out and started buying up everything, they like, you see what I'm saying? So they like, you know, they already know she's active, you know, and she's getting money, and she got a word. You see what I'm saying? They don't want the dope. They want somebody to move the dope. They got the dope. They need somebody to move it. So they recognized that, you know, she was getting paper, a lot of paper. You know what I'm saying? And they like approached her, you know, low key. And that ended up being the other plug. And then she already knew what she was paying the other cat. So now her wheels is turning. You see what I'm saying? So they come with one number, she comes with one underneath it. You see what I'm saying? And they go for it. And then that's how she ended up with a direct line to the Colombian.
And that throws the Bills bondsman out of business, though.
No, he still was in business.
Oh,
because I was his number one client, and I was the only woman that was his client. But he still had men that he did business with.
Got it.
You know, but he tried to, you know, probably suppress me. You know, because when I told him what they're giving it to me for, you know, in my mind, I'm like, this joker, he making more money off of me. So, you know, if the Colombian's giving me at this price, why you not giving him at this price?
And what was his reason? Because I know you're a boisterous lady.
Oh, you know, I don't know if I can beat that, you know. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going with them. That's what's up.
And he didn't feel no way.
Well, come on.
So at this time, what year is this?
This is like 1983.
At this time, what are you
1983.
doing, Champ?
He doing the same thing.
Yeah, but like we was still fooling with the weed. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a rich man's high. You know what I'm saying? We on the east side. She on the west side. The west side, it was money. The east side, yeah, not so much. We on the other side of the tracks. So, you know, the money ain't, you know, like that yet. You know, but as time went on.
It's coming.
And it started, you know, blowing up like that, then we ended up dabbling too. But what happened with us, I guess I'll tell you that. It's a different story. Because we was still like hustling as far as like stealing cars, you know, all of that. It was nothing that we wasn't doing to get money. Because at that time, you felt like whatever you was doing to get money was right. Even though it was wrong, in your mind, if you was getting money, it was right. So we stole a car, and the car, me and my cousin, and the car had like 3 birds in it. We didn't even know what it was. Because it was like bricks, like slabs. I mean, we heard about cocaine, and it was powder, but we never really seen it, so we didn't know what it was. But when we stole the car, we always used to empty the cars out before we drop them off because we had a little hookup with the body shops. So they would give you a list of cars that they needed, the color, everything. So like when a car get cracked or something, they didn't even have to paint it. We'll go get the right color. You know what I'm saying?
That's like
they switch the parts, rub that thing out. It's brand new.
Men's Society, they did like the same kind of joint.
Yeah. So when we got the car, we would go through the car before we dropped it off. And so we pulled the things out, and we didn't know what it was. We looked at it. What is it? Drywall? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we took it to one of our uncles. So the uncle kept it, and he told us what it was. So we like, whatever. We still wasn't impressed. It's like, well, can you sell it? You know, somebody want it. And we forgot all about it. So he's calling, because this was before, like, we had pagers and all of that. You know, so he's calling my mama's house. You know, hey, your uncle called me. You said to call him. Okay, whatever. So we end up going over there, and he says he sold them. And we said, okay, cool. You know, what'd you get? He said 45. So in our mind, we're like, okay, 45, okay. Shoot, me and my cousin took the car. You know, we chop it to 4. I take 2,000, you take 2,000, and we'll give you 500. So he goes back in the room, comes back out, and dumps the money on the coffee table. That's when people used to have coffee tables. He dumps it on the coffee table. You know what I mean? And we see all that bread, he got 45,000 a piece.
I like that.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Exactly. So at that time, now we done. He just blew our head back. We done now. It's like we got to get some more of that.
You
see
remember
what I'm
that day, Champ? Vividly?
What? What? I had never seen that much money,
Life changing.
I never seen that. So you take a joker that ain't, you know where we came from, so you ain't never seen nothing like that. So he dumped it, so he ended up taking 15,000, and we took the rest, and then we didn't say we had money or nothing. We never said nothing to nobody. We still living at home. Kind of. You know what I'm saying? We had our little whatever, but, we was still playing it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that was life-changing. And that's when we really started getting into the cocaine. So we, started talking to him, can you get some more, this and that, the other. So he ended up getting us some more, and we started getting down. That's how we first started getting down. And, we had a jeweler. And the jeweler, we used to, was like the fence. Whenever we stole some jewelry or something, we would take it to him, and he'd buy it. So we pulling up at the jeweler now. Now we got bread. So now we buying jewelry. So the jeweler's like, what's going on? Well, he's the fence. We can talk to him. So we tell him, we doing this, that, the other. So he's like, oh, really? He give us a number. It's a pager. We didn't know nothing about pagers. So we do the little thing and do, and we trying to figure it out and whatever. So we end up paging it. It's a direct line to the Colombians. So we end up getting some work from them. We got one, and then we did the one, and then we got two. And whatever we buy, they would double, and we just give it to them on the back. You know what I'm saying? They would give you consignment. Next thing you know, we buying 150 and getting 300. It just went that fast. It seems like it now, but it was probably a little time, but it was crazy.
These stories is crazy, bro.
So okay. Hold on, Champ, man, come on. Let me put the thing
It's back up.
Yeah, I gotta relax. Yeah, I ain't gonna put it down yet.
But I do want to say something. When you said, "What did Daff have any enemies, or what did people think about Daff?" Mm-hmm. People also loved Daff because Daff was the fence. Because back then, when all the boosters would come to him with everything, and Daff would buy everything they had. Whether it was TVs,
VCRs back
VCRs,
then. Yeah.
Clothes, because, people did what they had to do back then, and, you didn't think it was wrong. Mm-hmm. Then, when I look back now, I was like, wow, who would do those things? When I see the things that people do today that we were doing then before the cameras.
Crazy.
Cold piece.
And then I remember when we first got our pagers, and then we would see people, and then, your uncles or mamas or people that was older, like, what you doing with a pager? You a doctor or something? Only people had pagers was doctors.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it was crazy.
So what age you got pregnant?
I was 19 when I got pregnant.
But and before that, so now so the guy introduced you. You guys are making moves. Mm-hmm. Why you started beating up females?
Oh, one thing that I don't play is with my man and my money.
That's two things. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Two things.
I got you back.
Okay. Two things I don't play about.
I love this lady.
Is my man and my money. So when Daff started blowing up bigger, women would just come out of the woodwork, just wanted to get with him. Women. So if I just thought of any woman that just thinking about him, just trying to get with him, I'm knocking at your door. I'm gonna scrap with you.
Gee, come on.
Don't mess with my man. And I just felt at that time, we at a level where we're making money. I'm like, ain't no woman finna get none of my money. That's my money. We earn that together.
So what happened in the club that night? It was a situation that you had a squabble. That's the word y'all used.
I had a few squabbles.
So you had a squabble in the club with the young lady over
my sister-in-law.
Your sister-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
Bring it back to that day.
Sister-in-law.
Yeah, my sister-in-law was trying to.
Wait, hold on. Whose sister is that?
She was married to Daff's brother. And so, because I was so, Daff family loved me, but at the same time, they hated me because they said that I was too controlling, and they say I would try to just.
Let
Let
me shed a little light.
Let's go, Chet. It's my
Now-
man right here, boy.
Now, Jemeker, like I said, my dear. So what Daff did, he took care of everybody.
Yeah.
So like he used to pay rent, the house note, whatever, at his mother's place,
Because of the gambling shack.
and he didn't live there. So Jemeker's like, well, what are you paying that for? You don't even live there. You see what I'm saying? So that's where all of that stuff started with the family, because she was regulating that bread. So it was nothing that was just going like
The
how he
mother
was
didn't
free with it.
like-
She wasn't like that.
Yeah. The mother didn't like that.
She didn't, and so they didn't like that she was controlling. Where he was like free with it, she wasn't.
So I would fight Daff brothers.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Fist fights or just arguments?
Totally squabbling up, running up on you.
I like the squabble. That sounds good.
Yes.
Wow.
Because one of Daff brothers, even when I was pregnant, I was still picking up money and stuff, and I would, be like, Daff may, give you your stash, but you're gonna give me my money. So Daff would send me to get the money, and they'd be like, they don't have it or whatever, and I'm like pregnant, and I would like kind of like just go off on them. And so one of Daff brothers, after I had the babies, he after I had my son, he was like, you were a total bitch. But he said something else, then. I just don't talk like that no more. But he said, I'm so glad you had that baby, because they said I was so crazy with, collecting the money and stuff, and pregnant, so they wouldn't mess with me. Pregnant because, I fought pregnant. I would fight pregnant. I actually had a fight while I was like 9 months pregnant.
Over parking space.
Yeah.
It's like my mom. She should be fighting with parking spots and all that.
Yeah.
And then
How
with her,
mom
she
does.
didn't let stuff go. So like, and it didn't even have to be real stuff. Like if she heard
Yeah.
somebody was fooling or trying to fool with that or whatever, it didn't even have to be real. If I heard it, it's just like when she came out, she wasn't really no clubber. Like we stayed in the club. So when she came to the club, it was for a reason.
Yeah, I'm looking for somebody.
You see what I'm saying? So when you see her come in the club, you're like, come on, Jay.
Yeah.
Not tonight. Oh, no, I'm cool. Couple minutes later,
I'm
it's
squabbling.
going down.
Do.
She putting hands and feet on somebody because of something she heard or something that she thought or whatever. And then it didn't end then, because with her, it's like every time I see you, this what you gonna get. So yeah.
You gonna know who I am.
So the
Every time-
sister-in-law that night, you went to go see her that night at the club.
Yeah, she
that
was
already in your
friends
mind.
with Muhammad Ali. And so, because Tammy was like, she had a credit business. And she had a lot of, celebrity clients, and she was friends with celebrities. I didn't know celebrities back then. And so I thought that she was introducing Daff to somebody else because, like you can hear like little rumors in the family, like, oh, she this, she that, or whatever. You can just, like when I would pull up to the house, I can hear them whispering as I'm coming about me. But they had to put up with me because I had what they wanted. We was the connection. So I just went in the club and, squabbled with her.
But why did she say Red Fox daughter? Where did that come from? Like, it's like that was one of my questions. Like, how do you know that she was trying to hook somebody up? Like, where did that whole rumor come from? Or she just was freestyling in that joint?
I don't even know.
We got to get her. We got to get her.
Yeah.
Tell me she was freestyling. Let her have it.
She probably heard. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I'm talking about. It didn't have to be no, gospel. She could hear of something like, or get wind of something like, okay, Tammy was over here and Red Fox's daughter was over there.
Yeah.
And Daff was over there.
And she was real close to her.
Or somebody was sitting in Daff's car.
Yeah.
You couldn't sit in his car.
Oh, yeah.
If you was a female. You know what I mean?
I pulled up one day and this girl was sitting in his lowrider. And I'm like, it wasn't nice.
Yeah, gee, Champ, I'm hyping up, G. I'm doing that, bro.
Yo, it's crazy.
So wait. Do you remember the first time you put hands on somebody for Daff?
Oh, yeah.
Can you bring us back to that day? Where were you guys? The first person that you had to put the beats on?
We was at Burger King.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
We was at Burger King because every Sunday the lowriders come together and, you know, they ride on Sunday. And so this girl that liked Daff, that went to high school with me, and I know she liked Daff because Daff used to be good to a lot of ladies in the neighborhood. He would, you know, give them, you know, money or whatever, and everybody wanted him, but I'm the one that got him. And so this particular person was talking trash. You know, I heard through the grapevine through other people from my school. So I caught her up at Burger King and I put hands on her.
In the parking lot inside Burger King, what we doing?
The parking lot inside Burger King. I mean, you know, it's like a lot of lowriders and cars and stuff like that. And then I was stumping her. And so she still wanted more.
What? She didn't give up?
She didn't give up. Remember, she came, because Daff's like, let's get out of here because they're going to call the police or whatever. And he was like, you know, what happened to you? I was like, I just seen red. And so then when he took me home and everything. And so the fight continued, came back to my neighborhood. So I went in the house, you know, and told my mama what happened and everything. And the girl came like on my block. And my mother was like, you get out there and you squabble with her. For real.
Gee, stop that, man.
Yeah.
Yo,
Gee, chill, bro.
So it's just, you know, a combination of things that build up in me as a little girl. And it don't necessarily mean that the things that my parents taught us or we seen that they was wrong, they didn't know either.
I think it was with my grandmother. I know it was like, don't let nobody disrespect you. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's what they really pushed the line on. You know, if somebody disrespect you, you know what I'm saying?
Squabble.
You know what you got to do. Teach
Facts.
them, learn them some respect.
And if somebody pushing up on your man, that's disrespect.
Yo, are you so fascinated with that? Somebody was pushing up on her, man. Stop, man. You sure you didn't overreact?
Oh, no, I didn't overreact. You know, a woman has an instinct, even as a little girl. I had an instinct about things, you know. So I follow my instinct.
What was your go-to move? Tell us your move. I'm trying to picture it. I'm closing my eyes. What was your go-to move, your signature move, or how you got him? Punch in the face, stomach, a trip? What was it?
Oh, definitely. You know, you want to go for that face. You know, straight to the face. And then I like that headlock. I love to put somebody in.
Why?
I don't know, because you know you get them in that headlock, and you just reel on that head, and then you just got them. You know, you gonna pat out or what?
They can't get out the headlock.
They can't get out that headlock. It's like, for me back then, it was like that. I think the anger that from getting evicted and, you know, my parents not being together, you don't. How do you get over that? It's just suppressed and build up inside you. And so when somebody push you to a certain level, you just, all that anger and frustration, you take it out on them and you don't even know.